In the famous 90s movie, a rich man offers a dude $1 million if he lets his wife sleep with him for just one night. Tempting and mind-wrecking. What to do? Should you do it? A whole $1 million. Well, very soon the emergence of AI twins is going to put many of you in this kind of weird sexual dilemma. Today we will explore why. Hi, I'm Garcia and I write books about Web3 and artificial intelligence. My approach to AI comes from a mixture of hands-on experience working in tech and also an academic background in biology and the philosophy of science. So if you are interested in the very big picture of AI, subscribe to this channel. Actually, today's subject may not seem very big picture because prostitution feels rather specific, but in reality the shocking ways in which people are going to use their AI twins for sex go beyond that, because they also allow us to explore how this new technology is going to shatter the boundaries of our identity, both in the general and in the sexual sense. AI will very soon allow us to create high-fidelity digital replicas of ourselves. AI-powered avatars, also known as AI twins. These avatars will have two main ingredients. One of them is the visual, the physical aspect. We are already seeing these capabilities in how the new generative AI models are allowing ever more realistic, deepfake replicas of celebrities. But the tech is not only being used for funny memes and for scams. Some people are using voluntarily AI avatars to replace their physicality. Like for example, this YouTuber who uses an AI-generated replica of himself for his videos instead of having to record himself each time. The tech is not perfect, but it is improving fast. By the way, in case you are wondering, I'm not an avatar. AI is not good enough to fake this kind of broken English accent. The other necessary ingredient for an AI twin is personality. An avatar can look like you, alright, but to be an identical replica of yourself, it needs to think like you, to react like you. Well, this is now becoming possible thanks to large language models. One early example of this is when Facebook announced that it would offer chatbots with the personality of a number of celebrities. That was a very primitive attempt, and they just gave the avatar a very slight veneer of the personality of those celebrities. But this can be made much more realistic with more training data. If you feed an LLM enough information about you, it can become extremely like you. You can feed it all your email history, all your phone messaging history, or even begin to record your day-to-day so that it has more and more hours of conversations to capture your personality and mannerisms. The more information you feed it, the more uncannily similar it can become. And that's when you will be able to sell an identical AI-generated twin of yourself. But before we get so personal, let's see it first with celebrity prostitution, because it's much easier to picture with them. Take for example Kim Kardashian, one of the most famous and commercialized persons in the world. When the technology to create hyper-realistic avatars becomes widespread, some celebrities like Kim may start playing around with their commercial possibilities. Of course, initially it is likely that things will start more PG. Like Buy Your Kim Companion, an avatar that you can have with the personality of your celebrity but that has no sexual component to it. You can chat with it and feel that you are closer to your celebrity of choice. But whenever you try to get dirty, it will go all ChatGPT on you and tell you that she or he cannot discuss sexual topics. But this is the problem with commercializing yourself. You start selling just an inch and you end up selling the whole package, no pun intended. After selling your AI twins friendly companionship has become normalized, selling another version with some erotic upgrades could become a thing too. But of course it will depend a lot on the celebrity. It's the same as with celebrities and nudity today. Some celebrities keep it very classy and prefer not to show their body at all. Meanwhile, other celebrities like Kim Kardashian or Cardi B are okay with showing a lot of flesh, and even doing erotic photo shoots. But when AI twins enter the game, there will be one big difference. It will feel much less taboo to let your AI twin do porn than to do it yourself in the flesh. Because after all, that avatar is not really you, right? So even some celebrities who have been only toying around with very mild erotica may now enter the market for soft porn. Perhaps even for hardcore porn, since now they can just use their twins. It's just like some form of fan art, they will try to tell themselves. It's just like a cartoon, they will try to rationalize. Even if the avatar looks 100% photorealistic and identical to them to the last freckle. Because we humans are great at finding excuses to rationalize our greed. And the pornification of society has been progressing in the past decade at a crazy speed, especially with Instagram culture, in which the boundary between many celebrities and porn actresses has gotten blurry. So this rationalization of, well, I'm just selling my avatar, it's not really me, arrives just in the perfect moment to justify the sexual commerce that our society is craving more and more. But it is not only celebrities. Let's see why any normal person could also be tempted to sell themselves too. The temptation to sell yourself via your identical AI twin will soon grow, and not just for very good-looking people. In a minute, I will tell you why many normal-looking people will make some extra cash by selling their AI twins for sex. But before that, consider one thing. There will be many flavors of AI twin prostitution, and that makes the idea of selling yours even stranger. For example, initially, sex avatars may just be video avatars, like the current deepfakes that have been popularized by social media. But generative AI is becoming better at creating 3D graphics. So at some point, you could have different tiers or plans. Text chat only, voice chat only, chat plus video avatar, chat plus full 3D avatar. And obviously, the full 3D model will be the most expensive. People will also be able to sell themselves for different durations. Perhaps someone won't mind selling themselves just one time for just one night, for just one person in exchange for a lot of money. A bit like in the movie. And other people will sell themselves to many different clients and for longer durations, monthly plans, yearly plans, or the horror for lifelong use. Imagine selling your AI twin for all eternity. Yikes. You can also sell different rights, like selling yourself for private consumption only, or you can even sell your avatarial rights and let the buyer make porn with your avatar that then they can resell. I bet some porn studio would pay hundreds of millions of dollars to have the exclusive avatarial porn rights of someone like Kim Kardashian. And if you are extremely greedy or care little about your image, you may even sell your porn streaming rights so that not only they can sell pre-recorded porn with your livelihood, but they can also live stream your avatar doing porn on demand 24/7. The stuff of nightmares. And finally, there's the intensity of the sex. You may sell any intensity from avatars that only allow mild flirty chat, to topless nudity only, to full nudity, to light petting sex, to hardcore sex, or go all out and cater to the most kinky audiences and let people humiliate your avatar or even go into full SM sex with it. I don't want to get too dark, but there are enormous ethical questions that at some point society will need to ask itself. Like, for example, should it be legal to kill an AI twin? I know this sounds extreme, but if you think about it, our society has already normalized things that a few decades ago would have sounded insane. Like, for example, we allow very young children to spend hours and hours killing video game people in the most violent ways. So if society gets very desensitized to avatar sex, perhaps they will even allow people to do horrible things to AI twins. And this leads to the question, is your AI twin a bit human? And even if it's not an all-out person, does it at least have some personhood? If an AI-generated mind is similar enough to an actual breathing, alive human's mind, should that AI mind get some rights? Many people will argue that an AI twin, no matter how identical to the original human, is still as unreal as any video game character and should have the same rights, that is, none. This would mean that as long as the original human is okay with it, their identical avatar could be humiliated, abused, and even killed by the customers. But ultimately, all these questions are connected to the debate about the sentience of AI models, which is a very intense debate that is underway right now. We are still trying to figure out if AI neural nets can experience some level of consciousness, of self-awareness, and if their make-believe suffering could actually be hiding some actual suffering going on underneath. We don't have time to explore that today, but consider just this. These AI twins are going to get more and more realistic, more and more similar to you, to a point that could become uncanny. In the coming years, we are going to interact so much with our AIs that when AI is tasked with generating a twin of ourselves, it will have a perfect psychological portrait of what we are like. Also, at some point, we may even use other types of data to make these replicas even more accurate. Things like genetic or any other form of multi-omic sequencing. Perhaps even brain scans, hormonal profiles. We can potentially feed any type of biological and neural data to create our identical AI twins. Almost everybody, even people who are not particularly attractive, have had some people who had crushes on them, or became obsessed with them. One day, when AI twins have become popular, you may get an anonymous direct message on social media with someone offering you money to interact with your AI twin. The whole thing could be a very private exchange. You don't know who the person is, and the rest of the world doesn't need to know that you have sold yourself. You just have to give them access to your AI twin for the agreed time, and hey, everybody has a price, right? Let's just hope that that anonymous buyer is not your crazy ex or some serial killer that will torture your twin for all eternity. But here it is easy to wonder. Well, if AI avatars get so realistic, why people won't just have sex with fantasy AI avatars that are not based on any real person? Actually, those fully made-up avatars can be made to be much better looking than any real existing human. The answer is that humans get a thrill out of knowing that something is real. We see it every day with documentaries or reality TV. Of course, we love fiction, but we can also not look away if that clip of a car crash is from a real event, or if that person having an argument with her husband in their kitchen is a real human and not a movie. That's why people who use porn may enjoy the most artificial and fantasy porn sometimes. But that can get old for many, and then they crave something more raw, like amateur porn, with people who don't look that hot or perfect, but who feel more real. There's always a market for the raw and real, and when realistic AI twins become possible, there will of course be a market for fantasy sex avatars, but there will also be a market for sex avatars based on real people. So the question is, if a rich man offered you $1 million to sleep with your AI twin or with your spouse's AI twin, would you take the money? Or you are the type of person who wouldn't take the money, not even for just one night? Let me know in the comments and I will also let you know what I would do. By the way, for some people in the future, this type of sex work may not be optional, but a necessity, because the end of our normal jobs is very close. And if you still don't know why advanced AI, HEI, and robotics are gonna take over every single job, you should watch this video. It's a real eye-opener. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for being here and take a lot of care of yourselves.